What's up, people? We're talking about the 21 different areas of Nashville. What are we catching today? We're catching the Gulch. This is where it's happening. This is where all the hip people go. We're covering the vibe of the area so you can find your tribe. So what is the vibe here? Like, what's it like? So you may or may not be able to hear over the mic, but there's like some music going on because a lot of these places where you walk by on the outside, you'll hear some music, and it's just upscale, right? Like, this is condo living. There's no single family housing that you're gonna find in the Gulch. And let's just dive right into it. So like, what are we looking at as far as condos go? So it varies a little bit, right? Like, if you wanna go back in time, and what is back in time? It's really not that far back. About 2007, 2008 is the launch of the Icon, the launch of the Terrazzo. Those are kind of, and I don't mean this in a bad way because they're still, like, the Icon is still an icon, right? The location is fantastic. You still have security, like when you walk in, pool, tons of different amenities. But, you know, they're a little bit older units compared to some of the new stuff. So if you're looking at middle of the row, you're looking at 1212, which has always been one of my favorites. Love the 1212, and it goes up from there. But like, what's the feel here? So you see people riding by on scooters, you see people walking, you can see some people riding bikes, but the walkability here is really why people live here. I mean, we just got done at Bar Louie. I promise, non-alcoholic, at least this time, because we knew we were getting ready to do some more filming. So literally, let's say that you're in one of these, you're in one of these buildings. You walk right across the street, you've got a Lululemon right here. And then if you want to go, further down, you've got Anthropologie. You want to grab a drink at the pub, Ethan Allen's store. So the mix of like commercial stuff and you don't have to leave here. Like, there's people that live in these buildings that don't have a vehicle. There's no need. And you're literally blocks away from Broadway. Being here, maybe a mile to be able to get to some really cool stuff on Broadway. You're not very far from Midtown. So the people live here and they pay a premium to live here because of the location. So what are we talking about cost-wise? So if you're in one of the, I don't want to say older buildings, let's say the forefathers. That sounds old too. One of the front runners, the OGs, the OG buildings. I mean, you could be in something 600 square feet to 800 square feet, 900 square feet maybe. So you're looking at studio to maybe one bedroom, and your starting point for like bare bones, lower level floor, you're gonna be lucky to be in that 350 range, maybe $400,000 range. One thing that you've got to think about is the amenities of the building. When you're looking at which building to choose, you're looking at the amenities, and you're looking at an average price point of the amenities in most of these buildings, and it's gonna be based off of the square footage of your place. It's gonna be anywhere in like that $500 a month to $1,000 a month. Some of the newer buildings, it could go up from there, especially if you've got a penthouse. For a penthouse in one of the newer buildings, easily $3.5 million. But you're looking at 3,000 square feet with a private terrace and gorgeous views overlooking Nashville. For some of the older buildings, you're still gonna be, if you're wanting one of the penthouse units, you're still looking at that $2 to $2.5 million range, but you're getting a very nice unit, and literally you're just a couple blocks away from some of the newer buildings. We're gonna walk around a little bit, check out some stuff, but yeah, really neat stores, and you are right in the heart of it. When we talk about walkability and sidewalks in some of the other neighborhoods, and some of them, they didn't have sidewalks or this or that, like, everybody's walking out here. One of the questions I get asked for people that are moving into these units is, what about pets? So some of these areas do have like dedicated pet areas, which is great. The gyms in most of these are pretty nice. If you're liking what you're seeing about the 21 different areas, like and subscribe. I've talked about my 6 friends. They're the only ones that's on this channel. Trying to expand it. We gotta have more. My mom is worried about me. So, all right, but I'm gonna keep doing it, right? Even if it's only for 6 people, it's still for the people. So, love you guys. All right, let's keep it moving. So as you can see here, this is very common within the Gulch. The space is so precious here. Almost all of these buildings you're gonna see on the bottom, there's gonna be more commercial space. So shopping areas, different eateries, coffee shops, And then, you know, right above, you've got balconies and, you know, people that are living right above these stores. One negative, I would say for me personally, is even with these windows being really well insulated, you're still gonna feel that energy. That's code for there's still gonna be noise, right? So you're gonna be hearing, you know, it could be fire trucks or different things like all hours of the night. So that's something to think about. I've got a friend of mine who lives in the 505, fantastic building, beautiful. He loves it. Like, that makes him feel alive. I'm a little bit more of an introvert. So I need a place that's, you know, quiet, a place that's, you know, there's not just that noise. For extroverts, you know, or people that the location is important enough, this is a fantastic area. Something I want to point out real quick, this is totally off the record, but we're putting it on the record right now, is the Thompson in Nashville. One of my favorite places. Take the elevator all the way up to the top. Some of the best drinks in Nashville. Delicious. All right, we can't talk about the vibe of the Gulch, without talking about Sambuca. Like, one of my favorite places here within the Gulch. Last New Year's Eve, like, this is where I was at. When the ball dropped, they had tons of balloons that came down from the ceiling, party hats, little, you know, party favor things, like little whoo, you know, the thing that goes out. But it was a great time. Like, of all the places in Nashville, this is where I chose to hang out with, you know, some friends, and we just had an absolute blast. I mean, they took care of us. So the live music is rocking. The food here is really good. And so some of the music that they may play, it's not gonna be always like the most modern stuff. It's a little bit different. Like, when you think about live music and Broadway, that's a different, this is gonna be like, you know, just more soul, like more jazz. It just kind of hits you in that way. Like, this is the place. Let's talk about some of the OGs, right? Like, we were talking about the Icon, boom, right across the street. We were talking about the Terrazzo, boom, right over here. I mean, this is right near 12th Avenue South, real close to Division. STK Steakhouse, great steakhouse, is like literally right, you know, part of that building of STK. So even though these are some of the original buildings, people still enjoy living here. Sometimes the prices can be just a little bit better. But when you're looking at some of the newer stuff that's come out in 2023, 2024, and even some of the new stuff that's being built now, there is a little bit of a gap. We talked about 1212, which is just down the road here. That kind of mitigates, you know, that's kind of middle ground of that gap, price point and all of that stuff. There's quite a fewer units in there than what you have in some of these bigger complexes. But they've got something for everybody. Like, so if you're wanting to be in the heat of it, if you're wanting to be just right in the middle of it, there's more than one building, more than two buildings, more than four buildings to choose from. You've got plenty of choices here, and you really can't go wrong. I mean, you're just, you know, one block over to get one of these versus another. All right, my heart is breaking a little bit. We're leaving Sambuca, but we got to show y'all more, right? Like, you have an idea about the condos. No single family, no yards, no even townhomes. Like, this just isn't that area. High density, very high density. But man, there's so many like cool shops that are around here. You know, like pizza places. They've got a bank that's right around the corner. Urban Outfitters that's here. That's another question that I get asked. You know, they're like, oh, I need a 2-bedroom. Well, yes and no. Like, how often are you gonna have people that are staying with you? There's so many hotels that are within walking distance. I'm talking like a block, 2 blocks away. I mean, technically they are in the Gulch. Weston's a couple blocks over. You got the W here. I mean, hotels everywhere. You are right in the middle of Nashville. I would say, it sounds like a lot, but it is what it is. Probably a third of them that I've sold are people that it's not their primary residence. So, and a quick answer, because sometimes I get asked, can you Airbnb those units? So these are not Airbnb units. Does that still happen? Yes, but are they doing it legally? No. Would I recommend it? No. Will you get caught? Very high likelihood of yes, that you would get caught. So there's so many, like if you're a social person and you want to get out and have drinks, we talked about the Thompson. Another one of my favorite places is the W. You go up to the rooftop deck here. Oh my goodness. I'm a big fan of, you know, I like Lululemon, some vodka. So, and some of the drinks that they make there, they just make some of the drinks better than any of the other areas or any of the other bars I've been in Nashville. Yeah, just wanted to give you a little feel for the park that would be closest to that area. I mean, we're coming on the middle of the day on a Thursday afternoon, and you know, it's not too busy, but if you've got younger kids and want some great free entertainment, this is really hard to beat. You've got a sand volleyball court over here. The person behind the camera does like volleyball just a little bit. I mean, typically the buyer that's going to be in the Gulch is a little bit more urban, singles or couples, not a ton of people that do have kids, but you know, there are people that obviously you can't generalize and say everybody falls into one box. So for those of you that do have, you know, kids or have dogs like and live in the Gulch, this is a great little park for you to go to and have some fun. Thanks for checking out one of the 21 areas of Nashville. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn more about the different areas and enjoying the content. Be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of these videos. And also, we've got our contact information down below. If you need some help in one of these areas to search for a home or to find, you know, the tribe that you're looking for, we'd be happy to help you. And yeah, till next time.